You're listening to BQN. Assimilate the audio.
Why can't you just be quiet for once without flying off the handle of whatever the lyric is?
Not know the words.
I hope you're happy.
I hope you're happy now. I hope you're happy how you've
Heard your cause forever. I hope you think you're clever. I hope you're happy.
I hope you're happy too.
I hope
you're
proud
how
of you would grovel in submission, would feed your own ambition. So though I can't imagine
how, I hope you're happy
right
now.
now.
Scene. Done. Done. Hi, I'm Davey.
And I'm Mitch.
And we are
The Bargain Bin Gamers. Oh, I did it this time.
I've missed us.
I've missed us
Have
too.
you missed us?
I've missed us.
It has been a while, and we've missed us. Apologies if you haven't. Well, if you have also missed us over. Well, it's been almost maybe 3-4 weeks.
It's been so good because we actually only hang out on this podcast and nowhere else. So
Well,
it's good to reunite.
That's not true because we have been hanging out. We have, since the last podcast, attended 2 Melbourne Gamers events.
And they've been fantastic, by the way. I highly recommend doing that on a Saturday than, I don't know, jerking off at home doing nothing. What else would you do on a Saturday day?
Exactly. I mean, you could do it there if you wanted. The bathrooms are quite private. But shout out to Molly's Bar and Diner.
Yeah, an icon of the Melbourne scene, by the way.
It is. But no, so people will remember our most recent episode that we put out. We had the wonderful Jake and Warren from the Melbourne Gamers, GAYMERS, attending. And so we've been to a few of their events.
Yes.
And so it's usually at Molly's Bar and Diner here in Melbourne, an institution of the Melbourne gay scene.
Institution of Melbourne's gay scene.
It is, yes, what he said. And you just literally, as they said in the episode, you just go and hang out. There's board games, there's some video games, but it was mostly the board games.
Yeah, and everyone is particularly social. We usually have face like cat's asses, so people don't come and ask us to join our games. But we saw lots of people coming over and they were like, oh, are you playing XYZ game? Like, do you mind if I join? All the games are very collaborative. They're mostly made for more than 2 players, so you kind of are forced to. And there's a classic game that we've played both times, which we're obsessed with, which is called Werewolves.
So much fun.
If you like lynching strangers while drinking beer, you'll love this game.
Exactly. The first time we played it, I thought me and some guy who thought that I was one of the werewolves, which I was.
He was.
I literally thought he was going to like beat the shit out of me. Like, just come over and just punch me in the face.
But then it kind of circled around to being kind of flirty. So
it did, yeah.
If you guys are into that,
was my favorite kind of flirtation. Aggressive and violent.
we don't have time for this.
No, we don't have time for this.
We can't delve into that any further.
But anyway, so big shout outs to Jake and Warren and everyone involved with the Melbourne Gamers. We've really loved being involved in it.
Yeah.
We've loved going to the events, and it's pretty much become this monthly thing for us now.
100%.
We're going to go.
Well, the next one's actually going to be in a park in Melbourne somewhere.
Yes.
So it's going to actually be outside. Sorry to all those people that don't like
somewhere in January, probably part of the Midsummer Festival, which is
Probably.
Melbourne Pride for our non-Melbourne listeners. And for our other non-Melbourne listeners and viewers, we have viewers. If you are out there, and there are local gamer guilds or groups.
Guilds is good.
Yeah, so if you are in Australia, check out the Australian Gamer Network, GAYMER, give them a Google. They're on Discord. You can find your local meetups there. But I've found even just through trawling Instagram, trying to get people to follow our website, our Instagram page, there are gamer groups all over the world.
Yeah.
So check them out. Lots of fun.
Well, that's the best part about gaming, isn't it? You can do it anywhere. You do it from the comfort of your home with literally anyone. So
yeah, and I went along just thinking it was going to be full on just playing Mario Kart and stuff, but it's not. And some of the board games we played have been so much fun.
Well, I know that Jake is more of the console gamer, whereas Warren's more of a tabletop. And there's definitely a tabletop influence because it's a lot more social. It's not just staring at a screen. You all get to collaborate. You get to do all this stuff together. So I think it's a nice mix. And it's definitely broadened my horizon a bit as well.
How do you think Warren would feel about being described as a tabletop?
I think he wouldn't mind it, to be honest, based on what I know about him. So shout out, by the way, and hello to Brick.
Hi. Brick, you know who you are, and I know what you've seen. So what else have you been up to gaming-wise in the hiatus that we've had?
Well, interesting you should say that. So I have still been playing the classic Pokemon. I've still been playing Zelda, but my partner and I should say, recently purchased Super Mario Party Jamboree, which is going to be a main focus of today because it's been a fucking blast.
It is. Party games is what we're talking about today. But before we dive into party games, I wanted to give a little update.
Definitely.
Could you indulge me in a little update?
Well, I was told you were going to indulge me in a little update. Wait, hang on. What?
A little update.
Of
the
next part of our script. Is this what you're asking about?
Yes, God.
Well, actually, I was.
Were you at the planning meeting? Because
obviously,
I wasn't.
I was hoping that you would give me a little run through of the new DLC from Star Wars Outlaws.
Well, that's what it says. It says Star Wars Outlaws DLC update.
You asked me for the update. I don't play that fucking game.
No, I said, can I give you a little update?
I said, could you get an update? Anyway, so tell me a little. So, Davey. Can you give me a little update about Star Wars Outlaws? I hear there's a DLC out.
There is. I'm glad that you asked, Mitch.
Unprompted.
Yes. Those 3 fans of the show who watch every single episode will know that we did a little actually 2 full episodes on this game, right? Because I spent $170 on it and I wanted to get my values worth.
Can't get it out of our fucking mouths, can you?
Yeah. Well, I mean, and part of that purchase was the fact that I was going to get Season Pass to all the DLC, which is just nice. It's just nice, right?
It's just nice to have.
Yeah. So anyway, the first DLC's come out. It's called Wildcard. Now, Wildcard revolves around teaming up with Lando Calrissian.
Love.
To enter a Sabacc tournament. Do you know what Sabacc is?
No.
Sabacc is like the card game. It's like a Star Wars card game.
Oh, it's the card game they play at the cantina.
Yeah.
Right.
And so it's like this little thing that you can do to waste time in the main game.
Of course.
They've made a whole DLC around it. And you know what? Like, I get a little tired of DLC in games like Outlaws, which are just another side quest. So I finished this in one sitting. And look, it was amusing enough, but it could have just been included in the main game.
You're talking to a Pokemon fan, and any Pokemon fans that are listening, which is me and possibly my mum, they've now changed the formulaic rollout of a third version, which is usually the definitive version, like Pokemon Emerald. Yeah. They've now turned it into purchasable DLC, which usually consists of one campaign that you can finish in an afternoon. So you're preaching to the choir when it comes to this kind of DLC.
Well, that's exactly what happened with Wildcard. So I finished it in an afternoon. Although what was interesting is that there was an ability that you had to unlock, which was already part of the main game, to be able to play the DLC.
Oh, so they kind of soft locked it behind a certain part of the game.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I guess extended my playtime a little bit because I had not already unlocked that particular ability.
Was that a part of the game, or was that just a padded DLC?
No, it was part of the game. To unlock that ability, right? So there was already a side quest with Lando Calrissian where you unlock this little ability that allows you to frame other players of Sabacc as cheats.
Oh.
So Nyx, your little animal friend, this is him. He will pop a card under their bum, and the little robot will go, "Oh, a bit cheating, mate!" And everyone's English in this game. But,
I love that in the wide open galaxy, everyone's just British.
Yeah, 100%. Or New Zealander. So,
shout out, by the way, Kiwis.
Love your work.
Love your work.
So anyway, look, it's fine. Do I think it's, I've justified the $170 that I spent on it? I'll give you 2 guesses.
I'm going to say no and no.
Correct. Correct and correct. There is the DLC did drop with a patch, which a big old patch, just patching things up.
So once again, sorry to everyone who's listening, but as a Pokemon fan, I'm so over people, specifically developers releasing a game that needs to be patched. Just finish the fucking game. Just fucking make it work. Sorry.
And that is where I am at, my sister, because
That is the first and hopefully only time you've ever called me that. My sister.
Exactly.
Oh, God.
So listen here, sis.
Okay, that's better. I'll take that.
The patch fixes a lot of bugs and gripes I had in my initial review of the game. But I'm like, no, I don't want them fixed now because I've already played the game and I'm not going to go back and play it again. I am 40 years old. I got things to do, like going to bed early.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to go... You're supposed to laugh at that. That was very funny.
Oh, no, it was just kind of sad and true.
Anyway.
But you are right, though. A similar thing happened with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Once again, pulling everything back to Pokemon, where the game is so buggy and they've had to obviously rush it out because they have a time crunch. And I'm not obviously criticizing the workers. It's the people at the top of the company that have set these deadlines, that have set this financing amount. They're not going to pay extra workers. So they push a game out. It might not be finalized. It might not have the polish that we're so used to. Not that anyone's used to that polish anymore because it's been a decade of people doing this. And then they patch it later and then they're like, game's done now. Yeah, it's a year later, but the game's done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And these were just funny little quality of life things. Like, have you heard people complain about Star Wars Outlaws that if you pick up a weapon that an enemy has dropped, you can't carry it with you? So, like, if you climb a ladder, it would fall off.
What the fuck?
If you swap back to your other main weapon, it would fall off.
Why?
And
is that an intentional thing to like debuff you?
But in the patch, they fixed it.
So it wasn't intentional.
You can pick up a weapon and you can carry it. And I'm just like, things that would have been useful to me 2 months ago.
We need to stop.
Ubisoft.
We need to stop paying for this bullshit. I'm so over it.
Righteous anger.
Retrospective anger too. It could have been better.
Retrospective, but $170. I am going to play every single freaking inch of this game.
Yeah, you're going to rim the frames of it, honestly. Don't do that at the mic. We had UFC fighters in before.
Oh my God. Who knows what, because like my tongue just literally touched the microphone. God knows what I've got now.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm not giving this DLC any more time than it deserves. It's fine, which is what I said about the game originally.
I think you're way too nice, but yeah, go on.
Let's move on to today's topic, which is party game. It's a game and I'm having a party in it.
Oh my God. It's the one thing that gays do at a pre-drinks that isn't just watching music videos, playing party games.
Did you see that Batuta Advocate today?
I most certainly did. That's why it's on the forefront.
So
shout out to my friend Daniel, by the way. Not our Daniel. I have another friend, Daniel.
I know who you're talking about, Eurovision man.
Eurovision Daniel. Literally, we go to his house for drinks and there comes a point where he'll have enough bourbon and Coke and he's like, have you seen this Eurovision? Have you seen this one very obscure music video? And I'm like, go on.
Yeah. All right, to the gays out there, we want to hear from you in the comments. Have you ever been to like a house party or just hanging out with friends and it gets to that point of the night where after a couple of drinks, you're just like, oh my God, give me your Chromecast. I'm going to put on this, like, have you seen this like Dua Lipa remix?
Have you seen this Kylie Minogue B-side that she released a video to with no promo?
I'm the only one who knows about it. And now I'm going to share it with all of you. Because if you've never done that, you're lying.
Yeah. It's usually always like, do you know who Robin is? I bet you don't, but let me play you this one song. And I'm like, oh, girl.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't know how we got onto that, but so we've picked up a full price game.
Yeah, full price game.
Yeah, full price game. So Super Mario Party Jamboree.
What a fun word to say.
Jamboree. What is a jamboree?
I think it's just another way to say party.
I just think it's something that scouts do. Have a little
Oh my God, you just unlocked like a sense memory. Yeah, I think it is. What would that be in a scout situation?
I don't know. I'm pretty sure it probably involves some arts and crafts.
Not surprising.
Some tying of knots.
Oh yeah, knot tying. What else do they do?
Anyway, so look, everyone is familiar with the Mario Party franchise at this stage. I have been playing Mario Party since the first ever game was released on the N64. I remember seeing it for rent at Video Easy Gorilla, and I was like, oh, what's this new? I was not, because back then games just came out and you'd see them on the shelf and you'd be like, oh, okay, I have not been watching trailers for this for the last 12 months. This is brand new.
YouTube probably wasn't even really a thing. So.
Oh, yeah. And me and my friends, because back then we would have like sleepovers at my place because I had the N64 and the 4 controllers.
Oh, you were the cool kid that everyone wants to be friends with.
And I still am. Thank you. And so everyone came over and like we're like, oh wow, like, we played a game all weekend.
Yeah. And
we hated each other as well by the end of it.
That's the crux of these games. I'm I'm hell-bent on understanding the philosophy around designing these is just so that you hate all of your people that you play with.
Yeah, it is the friendship ruiner of games. But so much fun.
It's so much fun to ruin the friendship.
Exactly. And look, and it's been through a lot of iterations, and Nintendo gets a lot of hate for re-releasing the same old crap over and over again.
I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Exactly. But Mario Party seems to be one that gets quite a lot of releases.
But it also gets quite a lot of updates.
Yeah,
I feel like they're definitely different between some of the virgins. Yeah. Oh dear, not us.
Yeah. So we wanted to we wanted to unpack with you today party games, starting with Mario Party Jamboree. Now, we've got a brand new Mario Party on the block. Board game fun for all your friends, or some weird shit to do by yourself, which probably no one does.
It's also a little sad, but
yeah. So anyway, we've both got it.
Cut that out. That again.
No, it's staying in. Whenever he says cut it out, it's staying in. So we have both got this game.
Yep.
In fact, I'm pretty sure you came over to my place to play it when we had.
Yeah, you were I hadn't played Mario Party for a long time. I think the last one I played was on the Wii U.
Yeah.
So I came over to your place. We played it. It was so much fun, and my partner, who also really, really loves it, was like, you know what, we're fucking buying that game. And so we did.
Yeah.
And now I've been playing it incessantly at home with him, and it's been a blast.
Yeah. And these games are just fun to get some friends over, like whether you are young or old. Look, they are very childish in their presentation.
Yeah, I don't think that's a deterrent for older people, though. I think a little whimsy and wonder goes a long way in our trying times.
Whimsy and wonder.
I'm sorry that the biggest thing I have to deal with is how many stamps I'm getting in a game.
Exactly, yeah.
You know?
Whimsy and wonder. Probably something that was my MSN Messenger status in 2004. But shout out to anyone who remembers setting a status on MSN Messenger. Anyway, look, so at its core, everyone knows it, right? Mario Party, board game that you play with friends in video game form.
Yep.
What's new in this iteration?
So the main crux of it, second time I've used that word, by the way, sorry everyone, but it's about the Jamboree buddies. So you've still got your slate of mini games, you've obviously got different boards, some of them are returning, some of them are new, but the main focus is your Jamboree buddy.
There's always a gimmick, isn't there?
Yeah, there's always a gimmick. There's always something to differentiate it. So this time around, you can have a Jamboree buddy that pops up on the board, and if you go past them, you can win them as an ally. Everyone gets a chance. And if you get them as an ally, you get a bunch of extra bonuses for having them. Sometimes it can also be a detriment because it means you double every action that you do. So an example being, you land on a regular spot, you usually get 3 or 6 coins. Yep. Because you have a buddy, you get double the amount.
Yep.
Same if you land on a red one, you lose usually 3 to 6, or with your buddy, you lose double that. So pros and cons, but they're usually quite the boon.
Well, the best thing about them is the double stars.
Double stars.
So
yeah.
The whole point of Mario Party is to collect as many stars on the board as possible. And if you have a Jamboree buddy, you can buy 2 stars provided you have enough coins, which gives you a huge advantage.
Correct.
The interesting thing about the Jamboree buddies, now I feel like they've probably done this to help balance the advantage. First of all, right, to get the Jamboree buddy, you've got to land on the space where or just pass by.
You have to at least pass them, yeah.
You have to pass the Jamboree buddy. And then every player has to play like a really long extended series of mini games to try and win it. Whoever lands on the spot gets a slight advantage.
Yeah, they get like a starting bonus because they initiated the game.
Yeah, exactly. But then what happens is that if you win, so okay, you pass it.
Yep. Waluigi's chatting with me.
But I can still win it.
You can still win him from me.
And then another player on the board can just pass me the next turn.
And then they go like a hooker with them.
Exactly.
Off they go.
Then still old big dick Waluigi up me. I still maintain that man is hung.
100%.
Yeah, anyway.
Yeah.
So, but I feel there are times when I'm playing this with my partner Anthony, which is one of the things I love about this game, is that it's a game he will play with me because he likes the competitive side of it.
I'm just picturing him squealing. No,
he gets.
I want the 2 stars.
Oh my god, when he is losing, seriously, like pigeons fly out of the tree in the front yard. Like it's
the pitch.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, like, and I can kind of get it, but at the same time, like, it's frustrating because I think that's what Mario Party does really well, though.
Yeah.
You never truly have the upper hand.
No.
The game can turn the upper hand on you on a dime, which is it's what some people will love and hate about it.
Yeah. Well, the game, realistically, if you boil it down, there is a certain level of skill that you can get, but the skill is a glass ceiling. It's only going to get you so far.
Because there's so much chance.
You have to have luck on your side. And that's what my beautiful and loving partner, Exekiel, also always jokes about, because it's mostly luck. Like, we had friends over to play it, and they were like, we're really bad at this game. And it's like, there's no such thing. Anyone can be good at it. It's just if you're lucky and you're in the right spot.
And that's just it. There are board games out there and card games out there which are purely games of chance.
Yeah.
That's all they are. And then there are board games and card games out there which are an element of chance and strategy.
Yeah, and this is what this is.
To an extent.
There's like a positioning skill that you can have. There's item use, which can affect the board.
Yes.
Whereas basically post that, it's just you roll a dice and hope you get a good number.
Yeah, but don't play it thinking that like, you'll get an early lead because that's going to mean something. Because because you can be in the lead for 9 out of 10 turns.
And then someone gets a double
and
star.
It will just all turn on you in an instant.
Or my favorite mechanic that I've been utilizing, I don't know if it's in any of the previous ones, the ones that I used to play it wasn't, is stealing stars.
Yes.
I love
like
stealing
when
stars.
When you pass the ghost.
Yeah, when Boo's like, oh, hey, you've got enough money, give it to me and I'll steal a star. Because usually if a Jamboree buddy's gone and gotten them a double one, they're in the lead. So you can't steal one, even the playing field.
I see, said the blind man. Yeah, there's always been elements like that that exist. I do feel that this version of the game has balanced things a little bit better.
Yeah.
You can turn off things like bonus stars because the game, since the first iteration of Mario Party,
hatefully has included bonus stars.
I feel like the bonus stars are a little fairer this time around.
I refuse to play with them. I'm sure they are, but I don't want to be in the lead and work my ass off and win, and then someone else beats me.
Yeah. The fact that you can turn them off is great.
Yeah, it's a great quality of life feature.
Yeah, you can quality of life. You can also turn off motion mini games, which is also good. But I did find that limited the number of mini games.
100%.
Right? So again, if you haven't played it, what rock are you living under? Any Mario Party ever? There are mini games that you play in between each turn.
Yeah.
And, they help you earn extra coins, which can also increase your chances of winning.
Yeah, and it's very varied. At home, I usually play with a Pro Controller, so I don't have motion control, or at least the Pro Controllers do, but they're kind of wonky compared to the stylus things. But there's 117 mini games.
The stylus thing.
Is that what they're called? The things on the end of the
Joy-Cons.
Switch? Oh, whatever. Fuck them. Joy-Cons. Don't tell me how to feel. But there's 117 mini games, which is insane. That's like...
Yeah.
That's more to do in one game than 3 games usually. Like, the variety is always there. They're all really, really fun.
Yeah.
I love them. I have a personal favorite. I don't know if you have a personal favorite mini game.
Not really.
Mine is, it's called the Spookacell. It's like a spooky version of a carousel. It's really, really fun.
I think I know the one.
And you have to like jump over all the things. It's really, really fun. I also love the one where you are being chased by the 2 logs and you have to like zigzag your way through.
Yes, that is actually quite good.
That one's really fun. I love that one. So, but yeah, they're always really, really fun. And then you also will sometimes not only get mini games where you all individually play, you'll sometimes play in teams or sometimes play against one other player. And that one player that you're versing they'll have to like hunt you down, or like they'll have some kind of like insidious role and you will have to avoid.
So you did mention there is a big library of mini games. However, the number of mini games actually tied to the board game Mario Party, the core game, is actually limited. Some of the mini games only exist in some of the peripheral kind of games that you can play, which we'll talk about in a little bit. And like I said, I found that when I turned off motion mini games, there was a lot less happening.
Yeah.
I would see repeats sometimes within the same game.
Yeah, that is unfortunate because I know that I think when we played it at your house, we had motion on and there was like a lot of the very different games. And then at home, when my partner and me play, we usually play without it. And
Anthony and I always turn the motion games off.
They tend to be
Because we just kind of want to lay back on the couch and play the game.
Just vibe.
When it's just... I think maybe when you've got 4 people playing and you've got some mates over, sure.
Yeah.
Wave your arms around.
It's quirkier and funnier, and usually you have a beverage, so it's good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the boards.
Yep.
Right? So it's always about the board. So the most recent game in the franchise was a bit of a retro remix of all the old boards from as far back as the Nintendo 64. This is mostly new. So we've got Mega Wriggler's Tree Party,
Cute.
Roll'em Raceway, Goomba Lagoon, King Bowser's Keep, and Rainbow Galleria.
Queen Rainbow Galleria, by the way.
Yeah. So my favorites. Roll'em Raceway and the Rainbow Galleria.
Yep.
Which is like the shopping center.
Great taste, by the way. They are objectively one of the best.
They
are very good.
Both. I mean, I love the Roll'em Raceway. It's got the kind of it's like a Mario Kart kind of thing.
Yeah, it's so referential.
Yeah. And it's interesting because it's more predictable in terms of where the star will land.
Yep. The star will be in one of the 2 lanes from that.
Which helped strategy-wise.
Yeah.
Rainbow Galleria was the same because, I mean, Rainbow Galleria is a big board.
Massive, yeah.
But it's different levels of a shopping center, and you learn where there's all these different little tweaks and shortcuts and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And you can 100% throw strategy into it because you can be like, all right, I know this item means I can get over here and I can steal this star while still getting the star that's available to purchase on the board.
Yeah.
All that kind of stuff.
Definitely.
My least favorite, Goomba Lagoon.
Oh, see, I have to disagree.
Do you?
So I've put my favorite 2 as Rainbow Galleria because I have good taste. And Goomba Lagoon, I love Goomba Lagoon.
Goomba Lagoon gave me the shits because...
Is it because you got trapped on that little island?
Well, because I was constantly getting trapped and running around in circles. I was just like, when is the tide going to change?
No, see, so you touched on it just before, but I think it's really great because the boards actually influence how you should play and help you strategize for different boards. So the Raceway one, the role of that is to go around as many laps as you can. The more laps you do, the more likely you are to get a star, you get more money, blah, 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 blah. Right. So they have specific dice in that one, which is the 4 dice.
Yeah.
Whereas Goomba Lagoon, they offer items that can bring in and out the tide, which can open or close the map, which is a strategy. And then they also have the volcano, of course. And then in the Galleria, you've got the little stamp collecting, which I'm obsessed with because every character goes like this. And it's so cute. They all go like, can I have a stamp?
Go to the YouTube if you want to see.
I did a funny little pose.
Yeah.
But there's strategy for each board. It's not like you play the same game every single board. You play a different game each board because of the nature of said board.
Yeah, and it's not so much, you could call it strategy. It's more just an awareness of the environmental factors. There are environmental factors.
There are. Like you getting stuck on a little island.
Exactly.
Wah.
Constantly.
It was so fun.
No, can't stand it. Never playing it again. That's the board. Look, and let's talk more about what we like and dislike about the game in general. So, look, what I like is that there are more options for the core party gameplay.
Of course.
Turning off the random stars, turning off the motion games. Online play, I actually find online play quite fun. I love that it's something that Anthony, my partner, who is not really that into games, will happily sit down and play with me because it's quite accessible like that.
Yep.
And it feels... I mean, the Mario Party franchise is always full like this, but this one in particular, it just feels like playing a fun digital board game.
Yeah.
In the sense that, fortunes can turn very fast and, you're never safe. And no matter how, you can always turn the tides and get back in the lead.
You're only one good roll away from a really good turn and potentially getting back ahead.
100%. Yep. What about you?
So my likes are very similar. A lot of the quality of life updates I really, really enjoy. Turning off the bonus stars is always a big thing for me because I don't like having a merit-based game and then just getting a random upswing at the end.
It's like a blue shell in Mario Kart.
Yeah, it's just, for me, it's just, it's almost like rewarding not being very good. And then you could possibly win by being the worst, which I'm not a big fan.
Exactly. I got a bonus star playing it last night because I landed on the most number of Bowser squares.
Yeah.
Which is shit.
Yeah.
Landing on a Bowser square is shit.
It's supposed to be a detriment.
Exactly.
That's the purpose.
Right. It's like, I landed on it now, but I might be rewarded for it later.
Lucky we get to see the gay icon that is Bowser. Don't go on Twitter and search Bowser, by the way.
Did you notice that he has little PlayStation symbols coming out?
Yeah.
Yeah, like all the little triangles and X's.
That's what the magic looks like. But I don't know why they look exactly like that because it just made me think of PlayStation.
It's 100% PlayStation. Anyway, sorry.
We should get copyright on that.
You were saying?
So the other things that I really liked were obviously the bonus stars. I love the variety of all the mini games. I find them all really, really fun. There's none that they fall on and I'm like, ugh, that one. You know what I mean? I find them all quite fun. There's a lot of memory-based ones, which I really like because I like using my little brain.
Yeah.
I also love
that whole thing.
That shriveled thing. I also really do enjoy the gimmick of the Jamboree. I actually think that's really fascinating. Fun fact, I've actually never got a Jamboree buddy before. I'm not very good at the little mini games. The two that I've ever interacted with were Yoshi, which is like a little race game, and then Waluigi, which is pinball.
Yeah.
And I fail at both of them. But I find the concept of it is great because my partner and me played a game where he was, I think, maybe third.
Yeah.
He got a Jamboree buddy, managed to get 2 stars, and then he got another star. So he was well and truly in the head.
Yeah.
And it's just luck and skill. So I thought that was really fantastic. And I think it's a good replay value.
Yeah.
It adds replay to the boards because you can get a different buddy every single time.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, they all have a little quirk. Some of
Mhm.
them reduce the cost of items in shops and
Some let you steal coins as you pass people.
Yeah.
They have a passive ability.
Oh, look, and when you get one and you get the benefit from it, it is
King of the world.
So exactly. And I've had Mario. I reckon Mario is probably the best Jamboree buddy you can get.
What does he do?
So he's just like double everything, and then I think it was like everything was cheaper in shops or something like that. So
nice.
I'd go and buy like all the gold pipes and
Of
stuff.
course. Well, that came back to that the limiting of the board space, which is like the items become a lot more useful. I found in previous games things like pipes and stuff, while they were fun because they cause quirkiness,
Yeah.
in places like Goomba Lagoon where you're stuck, if you have a pipe, you'll be able to get away.
Yeah.
Or you can swap places with other characters and stuff. I think it just includes a different type of gameplay. So, but yeah, I definitely like I mentioned, the Jamboree part. I think that's a really fantastic feature. I hope they keep it, honestly. So Nintendo, if you're listening, I know you are.
Yeah. Let's do it. Okay, so what I did not like, games drag out forever,
Mhm.
right?
Especially the Jamboree ones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and, you know, it says 10 turns minimum, or, you know, expectation 90 minutes. No.
Yeah.
Give me an express option.
Yeah, there should definitely be a quicker one.
Yeah. So we were playing in Rainbow Galleria. Anthony had a turn in that game that took like 10 minutes because we passed the Jamboree buddy. He landed on all these other spots that triggered off all this other shit.
Yeah.
And that was just his turn. And it went on for ages. And then I had a turn after that where I got like 5 stars in one turn.
Wow. It's a fucking flex much. But
And it's
anyway.
then there needs to be an option for an express game.
There should be a 30-minute game.
Yeah,
5 turns.
And look, and maybe some of the side gamey things are meant to be like that. But you know what I mean? Like, if you and your friend or you and your partner just want to sit down and have a quick game,
Mhm.
there should be some kind of option which cuts out some of the mini games, or even just goes for 5 turns or something like that. Like,
I agree. I think there's a really fine line you walk, which is the game is designed to be a party game, so it should have party features, and a party shouldn't be quick, but also it should still be able to cater to a smaller group of people because then it's more playable.
yeah.
And then as I say that, you distill the game down and it becomes like a single player game, which we'll talk about, where it's almost like that almost goes against the ethos of the game. But I still do agree 90 minutes to dedicate is a lot of time. And it's usually more. Like, it's usually not 90 minutes because you've got a fucking 10-minute round.
Yeah, exactly. And so can you imagine playing one of the 20 or 30 turn games?
I need a couple bevs for that. I need more than a couple.
You've been playing for like fucking 6 hours.
Imagine playing a 6-hour long Mario.
No, I
that.
don't like anyone that
I don't
much.
think I've ever played a longer one than the base one, which is 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other dislikes from you?
I have a whingy one, which is very rare for me. I know I don't complain about anything. So I love my Switch and I play Smash Bros all the time. Smash Bros allows me to play with 8 people. Now, Smash Bros moves at 60 frames per second and it's a combat game.
Buttery.
Why on God's green earth can I not have more than 4 people in Mario Party? I'm sorry. I'm not saying there needs to be 8 where it goes for 15 years,
Yeah.
but surely they can set it to 6.
We had that the first night you came around to play it. We were having a games night with a bunch of mates.
Lucky we were mostly couples, so we could do teams. But
I know, but there was always a person or 2 people who always weren't playing.
yeah,
And we're like, oh shit, sorry. We would have thought that in this day and age, we would have been able to have more players.
well, to me, 4 people is just too adventurous, really. Couples, it's not a party.
Yeah.
Party is like 6 people.
yeah.
You're calling yourself a party game.
Yeah.
A party denotes having lots of people around to have fun.
It's a good
but
point.
You've now weaponized the fact that you've got lots of people, and people have to. It's just a shame that people have to sit out. Like, you'd want everyone to be a part of it. So, and I bring up Smash Bros because you can have Smash Bros and play 8 people. Yeah, it's chaotic and there's too much stuff going on, but it's a fighting game. This is a fucking turn-based board game.
Yeah.
I should be able to have at least 6, bare minimum.
Bare minimum.
So Nintendo, I know you're fucking listening. Fucking put it in. But honestly, the game is really polished. The game is well thought out. The game is streamlined where it needs to be and silly where it should be. My only complaint was mostly that, just that there is the compatibility to have that many players.
Yeah.
Why can't I?
That's fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
Now, moving on to some stuff I know you did not do, which is the single player afterthought.
Yeah, didn't play those.
So in a game like this, there always seems to be this need to add in some single player stuff to pad it out. So in this game, we've got mini game bay, where you can just go and play mini games.
Is it the same mini games from in Mario Party?
Yeah.
Okay, so they're not different.
Yeah.
Right.
There is the Paratrooper Flight School, which is... Did you ever play Pilot Wings?
No. Is it like Superman 64, where you just fly through rings?
I mean, it comes from the N64 days, but it's motion control, flying around an island, achieving objectives, and it's fine. There's Toad's Item Factory. There is the Rhythm Kitchen, which is like a rhythm game, and then there's the main newest mode, which is Bowser Kaboom Squad, which is kind of fun. So that is an online thing where you can have like 8 or more.
Oh, well, there you go. Sorry, Nintendo.
Only online though. I mean, you can play locally, and basically Bowser's stomping around some streets. You got to work together to put bombs into a cannon and kill him before the time runs out.
Right. Okay, cool.
And you can level up. You do mini games together to level up and get weapons and make it. Yeah,
sounds fun.
It's kind of tower defense-y in a way, but I found playing it once or twice was enough.
Yeah, the luster wore off real quick.
So it makes me wonder, why do we need this single player padding in a game designed to be a party game?
And well, it comes back to what we were just talking about, where it almost goes against the ethos of the game. We discussed this off the pod, so we'll bring it up again. But I made the example where if I have a Wii Fit game, the purpose of me developing Wii Fit is so that people use the mechanisms that are designed, the gameplay is there to make you fit.
Yeah.
It's almost like Wii Fit putting in a handheld sitting on the ground shooter game.
Yeah.
For people that don't want to be fit, then why purchase the game? So this is why I've never played the single player version, because the reason I buy a Mario Party game is you play with multiple people.
To have friends over and play it. Yeah.
So why would I ever do a single player? But it then goes into that point where game development now is supposed to reach everyone. It's not niche anymore. There's not a specific type. You want everyone to play that game, especially Nintendo.
Yeah.
So they offer that. And it's not to a detriment of the game. I'm not complaining about it existing. It just goes against, to me personally, the ethos of developing a multiplayer party game to have a single player sit at home on your own option.
Yeah,
just seems strange.
And it can be, it's okay to just develop a game which is meant to bring people together to play it. I mean, look, I don't mind the online components of it.
Yeah,
it's
online
fine.
was fun. I thought it was good.
Yeah, it was fun. But like, it's at its best, and it always has been as a franchise, at its best as a game.
Correct.
That gets you to bring your friends to your house and have a bit of fun. Like, you know what I mean? Like, anyway.
So to me, the mentality of having a solo experience at Mario Party is either really sad because you're playing against 3 CPU. Multiplayer is different because you're technically playing against people, or you're playing a solo version, which to me is not the reason why I purchased the game.
And look, at this point, we might normally talk about graphics and sound. It's a very well polished Nintendo.
It's a Nintendo game. It looks good.
It's pretty. It's colorful. The graphics are fine. It's got all the sounds you would expect in it. Ooh, question: who's your go-to character?
Good question. I usually go for Bowser Jr. because he's a shit-eating little bitch.
Oh, really? I go for Wario.
Wario?
Oh, yeah, just because he's a fucking perv. Like,
he is a perv. I'm pretty sure I've had a guy like that buy me a drink at the Peel.
I've been selecting Wario since Mario Kart 64.
Yeah.
I just like...
Well, here you go. Shout out to Exe, and we'll ask Anthony's as well, assuming he has one. My partner's favorite one is Toadette, who's definitely lesbian coded.
Anthony always goes for Peach.
Pete, good choice.
Yeah.
Lipstick lesbian.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, she's all about it. So make it gay.
Perfect segue, by the way.
Make it gay.
Make it gay.
Now, before we went live, Mitch was making fun of me because on the script next to make it gay, I just wrote Toad ?
And as I repeated to him, Toad is very gay because he just wears a pair of tidy whities and a leather vest. And
I'm the best.
I'm the best. I've seen that. I've seen that gay. So to expand upon that, I'm not too sure if Davey knew too much about this in the past, but in terms of gay, Birdo, a character that is playable, which is Yoshi's girlfriend, she canonically has a fat rock on her finger as well because Yoshi's loaded and bought her a ring. She's canonically a trans character. Canonically, Nintendo has confirmed. So I watched a video with my partner about this. Originally, Birdo was a villain. There was 3 different types of Birdos, and then they've all been conglomerated into one, but they were originally boys. However, Nintendo has decided to transition them into a girl character, and now Yoshi and Birdo are together, a fantastic couple.
He was thinking it was something to do with the great big hole on Birdo's face.
No, but let's just say she got that ring somehow.
Okay.
Okay. So Birdo's canonically a trans character, one of the very few recognized queer characters in Nintendo because they are family friendly, and family friendly in Japan means no sexual or queer representation at all. They just don't talk about it at all.
Okay.
The other one that I mentioned just before, and this is more just my own headcanon, is Toadette does seem very lesbian. She's got a little pigtails. She's got a cute little outfit. She doesn't seem very interested in Toad in any way, shape, or form. But also, aren't all the Toads exactly the same? Is she the only girl? Is she like a Smurfette situation?
Possibly.
Because there's like hundreds of Toads and they're all identical.
Yeah, exactly. They all sound the same. I mean, one of them's a treasure tracker.
I bet he is.
And talking about make it gay. Hunting for treasure.
But yeah, for me, Toadette has always seemed super lesbian. I don't know, maybe it's the pigtails, maybe it's her cute little poses. She just gives me lesbian energy.
Yeah, and I guess it begs the question, do you need to find some kind of queer representation in the Mushroom Kingdom?
No, because you've got people like Peach.
Exactly.
You've got queer-esque characters. To me, Waluigi seems like a gay as well. We've discussed this on the pod before.
Yeah.
When we have really camp characters, they just seem gay. And I think in Japan, camp is a big part of children's media, whereas that to us reads as queer.
Yeah.
So they love campy, they love silly, they love all this like quirkiness. But in, I think, a Western lens, we look at Peach, and because she's so quirky and different, we're like, oh, she's totally a lipstick lesbian. It has to be. And like Luigi, like he's like a soft little boy. Like he must be gay because he's scared of ghosts.
Yeah.
Like I think it's just a different reading from different places. But yeah, not in a Nintendo game. I don't need queer representation in a Nintendo game.
And that was Make It Gay. Other party games that you're a fan of, I've mentioned, I used to love the good old days of SingStar.
Oh my God. I burnt the disc that was SingStar ABBA.
So
shout out to Jody, by the way. Mum, if you're listening or watching, I know you're not. We used to duet like Mamma Mia together.
Oh, and back in the PS3 days, SingStar had this mode where you could record and upload highlight clips.
Oh my God, I'm glad I missed
using the PS3 webcam. But then you could actually go and watch other people's highlight clips. Oh my God, the stuff that you would come across. Like disturbing.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that. I actually had a little thought that I've wrote down on my notes. Now, to all of us listeners, and unfortunately, if you're also watching, if you care to see this, I know there will inevitably be a Wicked SingStar. If you would like to see us do the Wicked SingStar, which we do for free in Davey's car,
sound off in the comments.
We will stream it / record it, and we will do it. But let us know if it's actually something you want, because I know listening to us just speaking is probably enough.
Yeah.
Whereas if you want us to be Alpha and Glinda,
loathing, unadulterated loathing.
For your face,
your voice,
your clothing. Okay, we'll stop. But yeah, no. You wrote down things like SingStar and Buzz. Buzz was a classic.
I loved Buzz.
Australian kids will get this. I don't know if anyone who's listening to it is not Australian. They used to do Buzz they gave out Buzz in Happy Meals. That's how I first got Buzz.
Oh, really?
They gave you the game with the little fun controller. So I got that given to me in a Happy Meal.
Oh, it was my favorite.
Loved it.
Loved Buzz. I mean, Jackbox games, everyone's gathered around. I mean, that probably takes too many people back to launch.
We love a bit of Quiplash. Quiplash in this household.
And you know what? It's fun. It's fun to find out just how degenerate your friends are.
Definitely. Especially when they're gay.
Yeah. All right, we are running out of time here in the studio, so it's time for... Bargain watch list.
It wasn't in my script. Sorry, everyone. Bargain watch list.
Whoa, which bargains are you watching today?
So, Davey, tell me, what is on the bargain bin watch list?
Do you know what? It is almost Christmas time. The Black Friday sales have been and gone.
Yeah, we missed those. Sorry, everyone.
And do you know what? Because I always research the bargain watch list right before the day we record, right? Because it needs to be relevant. And I found it disappointing. I was not really inspired by a lot of what is on special right now.
Do you think that is because of the festive period? They think that because people are going to buy games, they're just going to...
Yeah, I mean, look, no one's giving a digital game as a Christmas present, but I mean, like...
My grandma Doris isn't going to give me a Steam...
You could give a Steam gift card, I guess. But anyway, look, a couple that stood out to me. First of all, it was Super Bok Bok Chicken. Now, Super Bok Bok Chicken is one of the...
We saw that at PAX.
It was at PAX. Australian-developed indie game. And I did do a live stream of it on Twitch a few weeks ago. You can see that in the YouTube collection. It's currently 30% off and is only $9.23 on Steam.
A steal.
Cute little endless runner. I had a lot of fun playing it. Get out there and give it a go. Number 2 is one that I really actually quite love. It's a game called Road 96. Now, Road 96 is this weird dystopian, not post-apocalyptic, but you play these different teenagers who are on the run from some kind of weird legal force, military or something like that, who is just
dystopian.
There's this weird dystopian thing going on. You're on the run. You want to try and cross the border, and you get multiple turns to do it, and you're a different character each time, and you run into different characters along the way. Each playthrough is unique, but you learn more about the different characters who you may or may not interact with. It's actually really, really interesting. It's currently 75% off. It's only $6.23 on the PlayStation Store. Cannot recommend that one enough. Been around for a while. The third one is Citizen Sleeper. It's currently $9, reduced from $30 on the Nintendo eShop. This is one of those games that falls into those interactive narrative kind of experiences. Really kind of quirky, steampunky sci-fi kind of setting. Very text-based, but, really interesting stories, really interesting characters. And for the last two, I'll say the PlayStation Store has a featured LGBTQIA+ section at the moment. Not necessarily stuff that's on special. There's a lot of included PlayStation Plus games in there, but it's a big library. If you go to the PlayStation Store, it's featured at the front at the moment.
Is it really?
Yeah. So it's
talking about Pride season.
It's just games that have got representation of some form or another in them. They're stretching with some of them, but it's worth checking out. And finally, one thing I will say leading into the Christmas period, this is something I've been doing lately, is flipping back to the actual physical media. Physical media when buying my new games.
Yeah.
So
I love owning the game.
Exactly. But it's so much cheaper.
Yeah.
So a lot of the big holiday releases that have come out in the last few months, I've found that you're like Amazon, JB Hi-Fi, Big W, Target, Kmart, sometimes $20, $30 cheaper than buying the digital edition of it.
100%. The only issue is, and not to drag Big W on Chapel Street, we went in to buy Mario Party Jamboree. They were completely sold out. So that's
where I bought it from.
Well, there you go. You probably took my fucking copy, but we picked up the little cardboard box that they give you, and we walked over, and the guy was like, "Oh, sorry, sold out. Can you put that back for us?"
Oh.
So we had to go and put it back. But I agree, though. Usually going into the store much cheaper, and I like the Switch cartridges. You can lick them, and they taste bad.
And that's the bargain watch list. Well, that's pretty much it for today. But there are some surprises in store. So we're going to pick a Christmas game next.
I'm so excited. I'm not much of a Christmas person, but I am a Christmas gamer for Davey.
Yeah. And I have a Christmas present for you.
Oh no, I need to get you one too.
It hasn't arrived yet.
Okay, good. I'll get
it. It's something that's relevant to the podcast, which we will be bringing on the podcast, and you'll find out when it arrives.
Fuck. Okay, I better get you one too.
It'll be a podcast episode. What I've got you.
Yeah. Okay. Good. I'm excited.
Yeah. It's something I got us.
Oh, okay. So I don't need to get anything. Got it.
It's like an us thing.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah.
Daddy Davey's got me something, and something for me is something for us.
So we'll be back with another episode before Christmas to share the festive joy. But until then, I've been Davey.
And I've been Mitch.
And we've been
The Bargain Bin Gamers. Bye.
Defying gravity. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure you give it a big thumbs up on YouTube or follow the podcast wherever you get your podcasts from and leave us a 5-star review. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and Blue Sky and follow along on our live Twitch streams. You can also continue the conversation in our BQN podcast Discord by clicking the link in the episode description. Don't forget that the Bargain Bin Gaymer is part of a larger network of podcasts called the BQN. You can support this and other BQN programs by becoming a patron over at patreon.com/BQN. We'd love to hear your feedback on the episode. Leave us a comment on YouTube or send us an email to bargainbingaymer, Gaymer, @gmail.com. Until next time, au revoir.
Double T Media.